name is Kobi Halperin. I'm a fashion designer from New York. I am excited to be here in Paris Fashion Week, designing the fall collection for Ungaro. So as a designer, starting to design the collection and being inspired from the house of Emanuel Ungaro. The starting point for me is the respect that I have for the house and for Mr. Ungaro, which when he started, he basically create clothes that are not like trying to go after trends. It was really about making beautiful clothes to make women look beautiful. It was time in the history of fashion that it was all about very chic, ladylike between Dior and Balenciaga, and suddenly Ungaro came with the bright colors, femininity, almost like a gypsy feeling. So this is very close to my heart, and I completely see myself really kind of like settling in this area very well. Of course, for myself as a designer, I always need a source of inspiration. It started, I took a trip to Lisbon, Portugal. I saw an amazing exhibit with all this amazing object and jewelry of Lalique, which immediately took me into the Art Nouveau moments. I started creating all the colors, palettes, the prints. Everything was starting from this moment. And of course, Paris, Paris forever. We're always inspired from this amazing city. I feel when I'm coming to Paris that I don't need to go to a museum, I'm in a museum every time. So that's kind of like was the starting point of the collection. So, for me, I feel like, first of all, I am focusing on making beautiful clothes. My focus is not trying to make something revolutionary that you never saw. I simply try to make beautiful clothes that's making every woman feel and look beautiful. I truly believe that that's what we need right now in life. We need everybody to feel better, to hope, and to feel more optimistic. I feel like that the DNA of the house, when you go to the archive and you actually can see all the couture pieces from 1970 into 2007, for me it's almost like a child in a candy shop. So there's plenty of inspiration there. But I don't really, I have so much resource in myself. So the idea of being able to design for my own brand and design for Ungaro, it's a pleasure. It's just an opportunity for myself to express myself in different way. And I do believe that this woman that I so inspired from being here in Paris, she is the Ungaro woman. And for me, that's kind of like where the connection is. And that's what creates my appetite and excitement to keep creating and bring the newness to this house. I feel like some people may say that fashion is a form of art. I would like to kind of like stay humble and may say maybe it's not, because there's something that for me, there is part of fashion that needs to be very practical. So I feel like, we need to remember there is a woman behind what we're making. There is a needs for that. There is something that we really need to keep it in mind. But for me, it's about creating the ingredients of what I try to do. When I put a collection together, I'm inspired by art. As I mentioned to you before. And the idea of like being able to create the palettes of colors, the design, the print by myself, the textiles, the details, the embroidery, to me that's kind of like where I see the artistic part. And the secondary is actually to create the shape, which of course there's a lot of creativity into that. But it's all starting with the ingredients. I feel like that, again, this is kind of like where I have a lot to learn, and it excites me. That's the reason why I always try to connect to the young generation. I always go back to where I graduate fashion, because it's fascinating to see how the young generation think differently. I'm still loving the idea of being able to touch, be able to feel it. So it's fascinating, and never say never. It might be something that would be very important for us in the future. But right now, I prefer to focus on product that I can really feel it and see it. And for me, it's all happening when there is a movement, when the woman's wearing the clothes, and it's not just about like thinking about something stiff. It's about really understanding how the clothes going to move with her. And that's something that I think it's necessary to see it in real life. I think that we're all looking for a reference, for a connection. I think when I mentioned the name Ungaro, women that I know smile. There is the memories of that. So for the people that know the brand from the past, I still think there is a memories of something that really make them smile. And for the new generation, as long as you put the right DNA and the right integrity and what you do is right, I believe you can keep creating and really kind of like widen the audience to the brand. But if I didn't think it can, I wouldn't do it. You know, I think it is a very challenging question, and I must say that in the last 2 weeks, it's something that really touching me and bothering me the most as a designer. It's very difficult not to get involved. And I think that in a way with what's happening right now, I feel like we all connected together with trying to send this message. You know, I just worked with my team here before and I realized that I did a whole beautiful spring collection where everything was basically blue and yellow. I was like, okay, let's bring it, because I didn't really try to think what's going to happen, but it cannot be more relevant than it is. I think that, you know, in the end of the day, I'm a fashion designer, I'm not in politics, so it's always very challenging and I want to say the right things, and I really want to make sure that the people and the audience can focus on the creative aspect. So I always want to focus on that, but to me it's about like, I'm trying to maybe focus on the fact that I'm simply trying to make beautiful clothes to make our world better, and that's what I can bring to the community. Bigger than that, I'm looking forward for other people to be able to influence and to create more. You know, I feel like that for me, I actually really enjoy working with young designers, and actually I'm going back to schools in America where I'm born, in Israel. I go back to schools and working with students. I think you need to really love what you do. And I'm saying it about fashion, but you probably can say it about any other things that you do. You need to love it. If you don't love it, don't do it. It's required a lot. And you know, fashion might look very glamour, but in the end of the day, there is the glamour aspect of that. But it's a lot of hard working, and it's also about like really kind of like, you know, bring all of this energy that you need to bring to do it. So if you don't love it, and if it's not part of your body, don't do it. And if you love it, don't let anything stop you, because everything is possible. And I think today more than ever, you can actually create awareness in a very creative ways, and nothing can stop you. So if you love it, just go for it. I am Kobi Halperin and I'm here for FOXYLAB New York.